Hello there, I'm Big Alias. Good night. Okay, bye. This is Warhammer. This is another Warhammer game, Warhammer 40k Darktide. It turns out that I've played a lot of these Warhammer games. So I was thinking about this recently, like, I have never owned one of those little Warhammer figurines. I don't know if it's like a board game thing. To be honest with you, I really don't know what Warhammer is. But man, I've played a lot of the games. And this is one of them. This is Darktide. And this is it's a shame. You know, this is good. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this one. If anyone watches this, but it's a real shame, this game, because I really did want to like it more than I did. And I do, by the way. But I wanted to like it more than I did. And that's because it has a couple of really major flaws and some, very much smaller ones dotted around here and there. The major flaws being, firstly, okay, the game looks fantastic. It looks absolutely excellent. But in order to do that, in terms of, this is a AA game and not a AAA game, it's very low resolution. And I think there's probably a fairly hefty amount of chromatic aberration going on there. And if you don't know what that is, then just look at this channel. I use it all the time on this channel. It's when you get like the shift in like blue and red, and it kind of looks a little bit like fake 3D. But it's not designed to look 3D. It's like an effect, and you can use that to kind of cheat your way into making graphics look as though they have more depth and more appeal. And of course, when it's in lower resolution, you don't have to process as much, and you don't have to put as much effort into detail because it's slightly more blurred, and you could just throw a bunch of stuff in. However, that being said, I really do like the way this game looks. I appreciate that. If it was to be in a higher resolution, then we wouldn't get the excellent world design here. So that's okay. But the biggest issue here is the structure. I'm not a fan of the structure. I really don't like it. It's you got a Left 4 Dead-esque style game where it's a co-op game where you start in one place and then you have a barragement of enemies heading towards you, and you have to just take them on and get from one place to the end of the map. And that's cool. I like that structure. My issue is the mission structure, the design of the campaign, if you can even call it that. I'm really not a fan of it. It's one of those annoying hybrid of PvE, like multiplayer PvE / co-op. Like it's multiplayer arena / co-op / PvP. No, there's no PvP. I don't know. It's this annoying hybridized process, kind of like that dinosaur game from last year, where it's kind of like a multiplayer game, but it's not, but it is. It's co-op, but it's multiplayer. And basically what's annoying about this is that, in a lot of these other games like Left 4 Dead or Zombie, the Sniper Elite Zombie game, Zombie Collection, stuff like that, Back 4 Blood, you play through one mission and then you get through that and you unlock the next mission, you get through that, you unlock the next mission, so on and so on and so forth. And then you can go back and play those games to unlock goodies and level up and, unlock things that way, and that's great. You can go back and play that way. This game forces you immediately into level up mode. You are technically progressing through a campaign, but in order to unlock further missions, you have to level. So you have to level up your character in order to unlock new missions. So just playing through and completing a mission isn't enough to unlock those new missions. But also, and this is the worst part, you're forced to play this in co-op. You cannot play this game purely in single player with AI. This game does not allow you to load a mission unless you have one other person with you. Otherwise you cannot load a mission. And that's what's so frustrating about it, because it's like, you don't have to do that. They didn't have to do this. This doesn't help with the process of the game. This doesn't make the process of making the game any easier. It doesn't make it any less resource intense. I don't know why I can't speak tonight. It is purely to make more people buy the game. Because if I want to get through a mission, it's like, well, I better get my buddy to get the game too. Completely didn't work. It's on Game Pass now. It's just one of those annoying techniques. for the game developer to kind of force people to get their friends to buy the game as well so they can play through. So you cannot play these missions unless you have someone to play with. I don't really do much co-op with people. I can imagine if I did, yeah, it would be quite fun. So at the moment, what I have to do is match make every single mission with random strangers in order to get through. The problem with that is that obviously this game isn't like hugely populated. I understand it's on Game Pass, but you know, it's a co-op game. I'd have to find people who are specifically looking for the exact mission that I'm trying to play at that exact time in a game that came out, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. It's not going to be easy, and even then, am I going to random into a mission that's like halfway in or something like that? So I have to. The way that I am sort of interacting with this game at the moment is I'm just randomly searching for random games. Because fortunately the gameplay is fantastic. I really enjoy these missions. I have a good time, you know, in these games, even though the co-op is with random strangers. Like I said, I can imagine it would be even better with people I actually know. I mean, yeah, the gunplay is quite sluggish, but you can actually work that gunplay to work quite well. I would say aiming down sights is a little bit pointless in this game. It doesn't feel like something you need to do. It's a bit redundant, but that doesn't matter. You know, you can run around just shooting people without aiming. The gunplay is great. The guns feel great to shoot. It's very like heavy and sluggish, like I said, but I like that. I appreciate that. There are different varying ways that different characters interact. Like you have your tanks and your DPS and what have you. You have like obviously the things that you can pick up, the powers, these medical centers. Like it's great. And like I said, when you're playing it, it's gorgeous. Like you're playing in this beautiful, beautiful environment. I absolutely love the world building in this, and it's kind of astonishing that they managed to pull off so many beautiful and varied environments, like these neon bathed environments or like heavy greens, all in this very oppressive like metallic world. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a ton of fun. It can be a ton of fun, but then I finish a mission and it's like, it just feels so aimless. It really feels tremendously aimless. Like there's just no structure to it, and there's no reason for this. You know, the hard work is done, the heavy lifting is done. Like I understand, like I said, the resolution's fairly low, okay, but the gameplay is great and the worlds look fantastic. The work is done. Why put these roadblocks in the way? It's just really frustrating. Why design the game like this? So ultimately, I don't know how much more steam I have in myself playing this game. There are other things to play that honestly have better structure. We'll see. It's a game that I really want to like and I want to come back to and play a ton of and level quite a bit and maybe get to the highest level and get through the game that way. But we'll see if I have the gusto to do so. But yeah, that's Warhammer Darktide. Let's run it through the machine and see what I think. See, yeah, it's a fairly forgiving score. It's just, could be better.
The PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.